What's up, guys? It's National Master Dem Apples here, back with another video. And today we're going to be taking a look at the best opening to learn in 2024. Now, it's a new year, and you might want to switch up your opening or not, but whatever your case may be, this is the easiest opening by far to learn, no matter what. I have not much experience with this opening, but the success rates are through the roof, and that's because this opening is just ridiculously easy, if I do say so myself. So, it's not pawn to e4, it's not pawn to d4, rather, it's pawn to c4. Now, you might think, oh, the English, how classy, you know? But it's actually not that way. So the thing is, when you play one c4, your opponent first gets confused and they leak some time on the clock, so you already have an advantage. Okay, and let's take a look at some of the common responses. So, most people like to go, when they face pawn to e4, they like to go e5 and bring their bishop and knight out. Let's take a look at that against the English. So, c4, pawn to e5, knight c3, knight f6. And now, what we're going to do with this bishop is we're going to fianchetto it on this diagonal, and it's really nice because it's a really nice long diagonal. The bishop controls a lot of squares from here, and we aren't going to bring our bishop to c4 because there's a pawn right there. So g3, and let's say bishop c5. It looks like a really natural move. Well, we're just going to continue developing along with our plan, and you'll see that because our pawn is not on e4, the bishop is really misplaced here. So let's continue. Pawn to e3. We block this bishop. And now it's looking a bit stupid, right? So black is just playing natural moves, like he's developing, he's castling, but white already has a sizable advantage. And if black plays like he usually does, usually in e4, e5 openings, black pins the knight, right? Well, this kind of backfires. After h3, black has to go back and say after bishop h5, we can continue pressing. We're just gaining more and more space. And of course, your opponent doesn't have to do this, but it doesn't really change the position much because whether they go bishop here or not doesn't matter. We're still going to play pawn to d4, breaking in the center, and now we can see why this bishop is severely misplaced. After something like takes here and here, white has an enormous advantage. This pin is really effective. We're going to go knight to d5 next. This bishop is out of play because of our very strong pawn on d4. And yeah, I would never take black in this position. Another option, let's say black plays more passively. Like, let's say they don't like bishop c5 setups because they know this is coming, or they just like to play passive and they put the bishop on e7. This is a perfectly fine thing. However, this just leads to what I call like the Botnovic system attack. So what we do here is we get our main setup. This is our setup. The move order doesn't really matter too much, which is another reason why this opening is so easy to learn. I'll speed ahead one more move. This is the setup you want to know and remember. Pawns here, c4, d3, e4, knight on c3, a knight on e2, a fianchettoed bishop on g2, castled king, so you're safe. And white, I'm sorry to say this, but it's impossible to lose from this position. And what's White's plan, you might think? Well, White is very solid. He's not going to lose. He's got a very safe king. And you can see White's play is all focused around d5. Look at how many pieces he has controlling it. And if Black's only source of counterplay is to push this pawn, well, Black's not going to win because White has it locked down. Now, what's White going to do? White's idea is to just launch an enormous attack on the king's side, and that's why this opening is so easy to play. Everyone loves to attack, everyone knows how to attack. Just push this pawn, push this pawn, push this pawn, and you win. It's that simple. Maybe move your king out of the way. I mean, maybe you bring your knight, maybe you bring your queen, maybe you bring your bishop into the game. But the idea is more or less the same. You tuck your king in, and then you go for the attack. Or maybe you don't even tuck your king in. So queen d7, just say some natural moves occur. f4, we're already starting the attack. And black is already in trouble because with queen d7, which looks like a logical move connecting rooks, right? He's trapped his own bishop, and we are threatening f5, which traps it. So black has to go bishop h3, exchanging our bishops. And now f5. After a few more natural moves, you know, Rook 88, this looks like a very natural move, but it's actually inaccurate. It's not the best move. It's not the worst, but it's irrelevant to the position, right? If you put the rook here, you're looking to break through with d5 so your rook can see. Well, you're never breaking through with d5, as I said earlier. h3, and the pawns are coming, and they're coming quick. This has been played many times before, and white is almost already winning. He just needs to push his pawns, advance everything, and push this pawn, and he wins. It's that simple. Black can't do anything about the incoming attack. If I flip the board, you can see it's really hard to play from black's perspective. White's just got an avalanche of pawns coming at you, and there's nothing you can do. So white is already winning here. And the last case that you might face a lot is after knight c3, g6. Black is going to fianchetto the bishop himself. That's all fine and dandy. We're just going to do the exact same thing. Just achieve our setup. Pawns here, here, here. Connected knights. So knights are always protecting each other. Very nice. We got our fianchetto bishop and our castle's king. And we are good to go to launch our attack. Say bishop g4 again, h3, goes back, f4. We're already starting the attack. Queen d7, and black this time is threatening our pawn. We can go king h2, and say rook a d8. Of course, black can always take this pawn. However, it usually doesn't do anything. In this particular case, both bishop takes and knight takes are good because we're activating even more pieces. And in addition, if you take, you are opening up this file for the rook. So say like we move our knight somewhere, the file is open for us to attack on. But usually the capture you want to play is pawn takes, taking towards the center, usually a good idea. And it doesn't seem like black has really improved his position. We've still got a ton of space, and our attack is still going on. And additionally, we have another file open for our attack. So this is pretty bad. Say pawn to f5, and now, even 12 moves into the game, black has only played logical and developing moves. He's already busted. Pawn takes, because the bishop is trapped. Takes, takes, bishop takes. Black has won a pawn, but at what cost, right? Well, d5 is still white's square. And after bishop g5, white's going to go knight d5 or knight e4 or g4. And the game is essentially over. Black can say good game because his knight is pinned to the rook, and we got a whole rook barreling down the f file. In fact, I believe the um, immediate threat is pawn to g4, or as I said, knight to d5, both of which seem very strong. And with this rook coming down, and after g4, we have other attacking ideas. We can bring the knight here and here, or here, or here. We got our bishop coming in. This is just bad news for black. So, in conclusion, the Botvinnik system is a very effective attacking opening, and let's see the originator of this opening destroy a chess master with it in only 20-ish moves. So we got Mikhail Botvinnik versus Vitaly Sergeyevich Sherbakov here in the year 1955. But as you can see, Botvinnik is just following his own system that he made. He's got everything prepared, and he's ready to launch his attack. F4. Here we go. Here we go. The pawn goes to c6. Black is just doing things, but white's plan is still the same. Launch an attack, push your pawns, move your pieces towards the king side, and win. Let's see that in action. 96. Black is not really doing much. You can see with Black's with Black's previous moves, he's been trying to set up some sort of d5 push. Because white covers this 4 times, it's never happening. So f5, and white has already gotten through. Knight d4 doesn't do much to our attack. We're just going to keep pushing. Bishop e3, developing. a6, queen d2. Just, connecting rooks. Why not? White has all the time in the world. Remember, this is a rather closed position right now, so white has a lot of time to just brew up an attack. Black, on the other hand, doesn't have that luxury because he's the one being attacked. And after this, Botvinnik goes, attacks the queen, and Right now, black's best option is to try to hold on to dear life with f6, trying to shut things down. And after bishop here, uh, just go c5 and just suffer a long game. But at the end of the day, only white has winning chances because he's the one who decides if a breakthrough happens on the king side. Like, for example, black can already set up. He can be like, oh, I'm going to close the position. This is really bad for black because in someday, white can go king f2, rook h1, and then crack open the file. And he has, because the position is so locked, right? White has all day to prepare for this pawn break. So after bishop f6, white took, and after takes, we can see why this is pretty bad, because after the ensuing exchanges, the position is now even more closed, and black no longer has any counterplay on the queen side. You'll see that black was pushing pawns here, but now it's locked. He has nothing. Queen b6, defending the pawn, but takes, and now queen h6. And it's too little too late. On move 20 already, only on move 20, white has just advanced his pawns, and all of a sudden he's gotten into black's position. And this is game over because the rook is going to be opened, the pawns are going to be pushed, the knight's going to come in. Oh man. And at the end of the day, it's not even the knight that does him in. Botvinnik put the queen on h6 for a good reason. It's right really close to the king, and the queen's going to get with the king, and the king's not going to like it this time. I'm sorry if that made you uncomfortable. Bishop d7, g5, and the knight is forced away. It goes to h5, but knight f4, trying to exchange knights. If black ever takes this knight, we have this coming, and engine is already giving me a forced checkmate. Black cannot take this knight, and so black instead goes for knight to g7. After pawn to f6, black resigned. Why did black resign? Well, first of all, black needs to move his knight, but where? Well, if he goes knight e6, white will exchange and then checkmate black. There is nothing that can be done. And same goes for knight h5. Um, White will just take, and then there will be checkmate. So black's only option really is to go knight to e8. But the reason why this is still really bad for black is because white has, again, this is a closed position. White has all the time in the world. Black just wanted to end his misery. White's just going to go knight e2 and say black does nothing, because really he can't do anything. Rook f4, and then rook h4. Boom, bang, bop, checkmate. So I hope this game illustrated how easy it is to win with the Botvinnik system, and hope you play it in your next game. Have a great rest of 2024 and play this opening. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye.